Hello, my name is Brian Tracy, and I'm a professional speaker and management consultant. And I want to introduce you to my good friend, Linus Okorie.
Gentlemen, please make welcome Linus Okorie.
Is there anybody in this room that would like to make a difference? Can I hear you say aye? Everybody wants to make a difference. Everybody wants to count. But the truth of the matter is that it's not everyone who wants to make a difference that ends up making a difference. So look at your neighbor and say, do you know who I am? If you know who I am today, you will buy me lunch on Monday afternoon. Please graciously have your seats. So permit me, first of all, to be able to say a big thank you to my big brother and friend, our great pastor and his wife, for graciously giving me the opportunity to share my thoughts today. Thank you, sir. I'm honored. I'm grateful. Thank you. Let me also use this opportunity to recognize a great Nigerian, amazing woman of note, and an influencer, architect Jumoke Adenawo. Amazing. And let me say to you, you are all welcome to this very great event. The world today is in my palms. Distance is completely dead. What it means literally is that we are existing in an era, they have called it 21st century. The 21st century is an interesting time to be alive. The 21st century is a time when the greatest wish of everyone who wants to make a big difference in our world today is that you will become a 21st century leader. Show me anyone that has made a difference without understanding the context and the specific realities of the 21st century. So the 21st century has basic realities, and those realities are the things that I want to start my conversation with you today. The first reality of the 21st century is that the 21st century has a concept called globalization. The concept of globalization simply means that there is no longer anything. There is nothing that can stop you right now from being part of the world states and systems. What it means is that our borders are open. What it means is that there is free flow of ideas, information, trade across borders. What it means is that I take a selfie with you right now, you put it on Facebook. Your friend who is in India will like it in a second. The reality is that things are no longer going to be the same. The shocking thing is it puts pressure on each and every one of us. The pressure is that you're no longer competing amongst yourselves in Nigeria. The competition is no longer local. The competition is what? International, global. What it means is that if you are running a company in this country, say you're running a consulting company, you're actually competing with the best consulting firms in the world. What it means is that if you are specifically sitting in this room and you are a lawyer, what it means is that you are competing with the best of the lawyers on the global stage. So how do we know that a Nigerian has visited Singapore to attend a conference and they give him a microphone to speak? How do we know that this guy is Nigerian? He takes this microphone and he does. We will know that this guy is a Nigerian. He's a local champion. He hasn't understood the global systems about how this microphone works. It is not his responsibility to go like this. There is somebody whose job is to make sure that this microphone works. His job is to speak to the microphone. We will know he's a Nigerian because he is importing a local culture into international space. That's what we're talking to you about. What it means is that if somebody you have a company and you're seeking for contracts in Nigeria, I want you to know behind your mind there are so many people from India who also are seeking for the same contracts. You might not see their faces, they might be back end, but they are powering an institution seeking the same contract you're looking for. So what that means is that you either up your game or you are what? Lost completely. I understood this many years ago. This is my 30 years. I was only 19 years old when the vision to raise leaders for Nigeria hit me. At the age of 19, I understood that and I began to drive the process. At some point in my life, I knew that if I do not build with global thinking in mind, that I will not be able to compete when the time comes. So what did I do? So I began to search for the very best of names around the world on leadership. And the first person that hit my mind was Dr. Miles Monroe. And I remember the day that I sat down and I wrote a long letter to Dr. Miles Monroe asking him to join my board. Far away, he's in Bahamas. And I was asking him to join my board in Nigeria. I was working very hard to take myself right up there. And after a couple of months, I was shocked. It took me 2 months to write that letter, to perfect it. You know what they call perfection? To create a letter that can be read at the international stage. And when Dr. Miles Monroe sent a reply, he said he was honored. He was honored to be a member of my board. I hadn't seen him. I hadn't touched him. I hadn't felt him. But he said he was honored. And I can never forget that day. It was in my daughter's house in Benin when I first in my life caught a glimpse of him. And I said, my daughter said, "This is the young man." And he remembered the letter. And he said, "We will work together." And I'm very proud. I actually brought him to Owerri for the first time. He spoke to 1,500 people. And that concept alone is life transforming. That you have to push yourself beyond limits. And every kobo I earned, I pushed it to my development. I traveled everywhere in the world to find knowledge on leadership so that I can compete with the very best in the world. So I want to let you know today that the reality of the 21st century is called globalization. Globalization puts you under pressure to be the best that you can. And so that's the first reality. The second reality of the 21st century is technology. It's technology. So technology can mar or make you. Technology, the craze for technology can be an advantage, can be a disadvantage. The reality is that technology can also be a waster of your time. Technology can actually put you in a place where you either disappear because you spend 4 or 5 hours doing things you're not supposed to do, right? In gossip sites. The outcome of technology can be that. Because both leaders of the 21st century can take advantage of technology and begin to create a better system for themselves. Which means if you study technology in a very interesting way, you can utilize technology to facilitate your growth. Technology can become something that can aid your leadership capital, which means you can have some speed in your deliverables as a result of that utilization. So what does that mean? What it means is that everyone listening to me today, that reality of technology can be for your advantage. The third element that 21st century has brought to us is a concept called individualism. In the 21st century, ladies and gentlemen, several people will be thinking about just themselves. It is like, it is about me. It's all about me. Samson, in my first year in secondary school, taught us this concept about individualism in a way that I have never ever forgotten. Samson was a young man who was getting fatter. Every one of us getting slimmer in the boarding house. Samson was getting fatter. We didn't understand what Samson was doing. Samson was carrying 3 plates of food for himself. He would think that he's going for the masters in the hostels. He would come to those who serve the food. He would say, this is for me, I and myself. Fast. He would say so fast that they will allow him go with the food. Every day he was doing that. Samson was getting fat. We were asking, why was Samson getting this fat? One day a prefect was passing and just heard what Samson just said. He said, slow down. He said, this food is for who? This is for me, myself, and I. That's how he was busted. He was caught. And because he was thinking me, the concept of me mentality is what has brought a lot of downfall amongst leaders and professionals across systems. That's why Simon Sinek wrote a book and titled it, Leaders Eat Last. The concept of leaders eat last is actually the fact that the way you can grow your influence as a leader in your systems, organizations, is when you start thinking about the common good rather than just you. When leaders think about the growth of the other person, then that leader multiplies his influence and his impact, or her influence or her impact. And that's why the world is looking for selfless leaders who can emerge in systems to transform organizations and institutions. The world is looking for people who don't think about self. It's about the common good. It's about how we can grow and allow ourselves to impact other people in our space. We multiply people as a result of the fact that we have become leaders in the system, which means we have become leaders first. And so what do? We inspire others around us to become. So we're not thinking about us. Every time you speak, it's about others. So when you understand that secret, that 21st century would have the temptation of everyone thinking about self in the individualism. So I want you to know that it's your responsibility to bring another school of thoughts that will challenge that individualistic thinking and think about the common good. Then you rise. So we rise by lifting others. You see, that is what will make you different. Does that make sense? But there's another side of individualism that is positive. And this side of individualism is an amazing feeling. I remember one day I was flying all the way from America to Dubai because I wanted to speak somewhere. I was speaking in Dubai at some point. I came very tired. I was so tired, and I just got into a hotel. And you know, I saw a young lady, very pretty young lady, and she had a cup in her hand. And she was looking at me directly and smiling. The smile was so much that I didn't know when I joined in the smiling process. As I joined in the smiling process, she approached me and gave me the cup. I didn't know when I drank what was in the cup, because her warmth was unbelievable. And guess what? She was the customer representative of the hotel. Strength restored in my body. Everything was restored. I was asking, was it a smile or what was in the cup? Which one? Got me that. But it was an experience that every time I go to Dubai, I want to experience that hotel. Does that make sense? What did they do? The hotel leaders, they saw the lady and they decided to magnify her strength. They took her strength and they put her in the right position. Because of her individualism, she's a naturally warm person, and therefore she would not stay at the back end. She would stay what? At the front end. One of the greatest things that can make Nigeria outstanding is when our individualism, in terms of our talent, in terms of our specific, all the skills we have, if it comes alive, we don't need universities in Nigeria that everybody should go to the university. Listen, it's not even needed. If we understand how to maximize our individual strength in the 21st century, those who want to be fashion designers, there will be a 7-star fashion institution for them. They finish from secondary school and they go to those institutions and they get certified. And they become leaders in those institutions. Those who want to be technicians, whatever, there will be 7-star opportunities for them. What it means is that our parents will no longer force us to go and do courses we have no business with. Does that make sense? Some of us read courses because somebody says, we don't have a lawyer in this house, she must be a lawyer. And that's how we lost our individualism. You must be a doctor. You lost it. You see? That's a big challenge. So what do we do? So the positive side of individualism can transform nations. I mean, many people are afraid to go to work on a Monday morning because they're only working for salary. Is that not it? They're not working because they love what they do. Imagine if we have a critical mass of people who love what they do. Showing their strength and individual strength. We will build a nation when leadership capital will happen across systems and nations. Those are some of the realities of the 21st century that I wanted to bring to your notice this morning. But guess what? I thought I should also bring to you some demands of the 21st century. These demands of the 21st century are life transforming. Because of the challenge of the reality of the 21st century, the leader must be able to up his game or her game to answer to the demands of the 21st century. And these demands are only 5. Once I'm done with this demand, my session is done for the day. The first demand of the 21st century is every leader must understand the learning system. Every leader who wants to make a difference. Are you a professional here, seated here? Are you a professional? Who is a professional seated in this place? If you're a professional, one of the interesting things that you must know is that you must answer to the demand of the 21st century that calls you into the learning system, which means you become a perpetual learner for life. What does that mean? Aristotle, Socrates, these were custodians of knowledge. These men, they went around town telling everybody, I know nothing, I know nothing, I know nothing, I know nothing. What does it mean to know nothing? Ladies and gentlemen, to know, oh my God, I am just seeing this. I know nothing. I know nothing. I know nothing. I know nothing simply means I know nothing. So the body of knowledge in every sector of the economy is ready to be grabbed. So leaders must stretch in the body of knowledge. I know nothing. The world will not give you a place until you are able to come from the position of competence in a particular subject matter area. And you read everything, ask questions about everything, build yourself on everything, and the world will begin to take you seriously because you have content. You open your mouth, something flows. And that's the way to go. And the second is the vision system. The vision system is very critical. And I think instead of giving you 5, I just stop at the vision system because my time is up. The vision system is important. The vision system, it means that, listen, nobody can become great unless you can see the future and picture it clearly, right? Imagine if you have leaders who actually defined the future of what they wanted. Evita Peron said, my greatest fear is to be forgotten. Evita Peron was the wife of the president of Argentina in 1946-48. She said, my greatest fear is to be forgotten. And she had that vision of making sure that she's not forgotten. And she built systems that was helping the poor. So much that she helped her husband win another election. And she died at 33. When she died, the whole nation cried for her. And for many years, she was not buried. She was not buried. Don't cry for me, Argentina. She was not buried. And today, her name is a movement in Argentina. just by that vision. Dubai painted a picture. The vision in their mind was that Dubai will never settle for a second place. That's a vision. And that drove progress of Dubai. What's your vision for life? Understanding your vision for life can set you on the path of progress. So once the vision is clear, the planning is clear, the execution will be where the main issue is. How many of us are executors? You want to reinvent yourself today. You want to reinvent yourself today. The fastest way to reinvent yourself, ladies and gentlemen, is to become somebody who has mastered the game of execution. So as I go to take my seat, I tell you a true life story of execution. I had done my thorough planning. The planning was very fantastic because I wanted to go and make a pitch in Ibadan. I wanted to speak to my wife today. I wanted to make a pitch, be my wife. I prepared. Vision was clear. The planning was fantastic. Execution, I thought, was key. So I executed powerfully. And I thought I was in place. And she said, "You're an intelligent man, fantastic man, great guy, whatever. But I want a tall man." So I asked myself, am I not tall? Ladies and gentlemen, am I not a tall guy? At least, am I not average? Pastor. And the moment she said that, execution has been slowed down. Oh my God, what would I do? I had to reinvent myself on the spot. One of the greatest things you need to know about the execution leaders who are here today, you must have the capacity to reinvent yourself on the spot. And I reinvented myself on the spot. And I said to myself, who is the closest person to her? And they said her father. So I went to her father and I did 2 hours. I said, "Sir, can I have 2 hours of your time?" And I began to share with the man my vision, where I'm taking the daughter to. I intend to take your daughter to this place. And for 2 hours, I was engaging this man. And when the man caught the fire, he ran into the room, said, "If you miss this man, you miss something." And then, guess what? In the next 30 minutes, I got my answer. It was a yes. So recently, I was asking her, I said, "Tell me the truth. Do you still want a tall man?" So she said that her vision was actually clear. She wanted a tall man. The vision was clear. But now she realizes that spiritually she was correct, that I'm tall inside. So, ladies and gentlemen, all I can say to you is that 21st century needs you to step up your game. All right? And anyone who wants to, the Godly Leadership Center is ready to help you to become much more. I want to thank Pastor for this opportunity again. Thank you so much, sir. I appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
When we pray, there's a God who hears us.
Yeah.
When we pray, there's a God to answer.
Yeah.